Jai Sai Ram. I'm Priti, Mohanji apprentice, Acharya from London, and today I'll be reciting Sai Satcharitra, chapter 33. And these are the following titles: The Greatness of Udi, Scorpion Stings and the Plague Cases Cured, Jamna Miracle, Narayan Rao's Sickness, Balabua Sutur, and Apa Sayab Kulrani. And the last one is Haribo Karnik. In the last chapter, we described the greatness of the Guru, and now in this one, we will describe the greatness of Udi. Preliminary, let us now bow before the great saints. Their merciful glances will destroy mountains of sins and do away with all the evil streaks in our character. Their casual talk gives us valuable lessons and confers on us impressionable happiness. Their minds do not know any difference, such as this is ours and that is yours. Such differentiation never arises in their minds. Our obligation to them will never be repaid by us in this birth, as well as in many future births to come. So the first title, Udi. It is well known that Baba asked for or received dakshina from devotees who visited him, and out of thus collected, he spent a lot on charity and purchased fuel with the remaining amount. He fed this fuel into the dhuni, the sacred fire which he always kept burning. The ash from this fire was called Udi, and it was freely distributed to the devotees at the time of their departure from Shirdi. What did Baba teach us by this Udi? Baba taught us that all the visible phenomena in this universe is as transient as ash. Our bodies composed of the 5 elements will perish. After all, the worldly enjoyments are over and will be reduced to ashes. In order to remind the devotees of this, Baba distributed Udi to them. Baba also taught through Udi that the Brahman universe is the only reality and the universe is ephemeral, and that no one in this world, son, father, or wife, is really ours. We come into this world alone and we have to leave alone. While Udi is also cured many physical and mental maladies, Baba wanted to teach his devotees the principles of discrimination between the unreal and the real, and non-attachment for the unreal. The Udi taught us discrimination, and Dakshina taught us detachment. Unless we have these two things, it is impossible for us to cross over the sea of mundane existence. So Baba asked for and received Dakshina, and when the devotees took leave, he gave them Udi as prasad. Be smeared some of it on their foreheads and placed his boon conferring hand on their heads. When Baba was in a cheerful mood, he used to sing merrily. One of the songs he sang was about Udi. The chorus of that song was, "O playful Rama, come and bring with you sacks of Udi." Baba used to sing this song in a very clear and sweet tone. Udi also had its material significance. It conferred health, prosperity, freedom from anxiety, and many other worldly gains. Thus, Udi helped us to gain both our ends material as well as spiritual. Inspired by Baba, we shall now begin to tell you the stories about Udi. The scorpion sting. The Narayan Motiram Jani of Nasik was a devotee of Baba. He was working for another devotee of Baba named Ramchandra Vamak Modak. Once he went to Shirdi with his mother and saw Baba, and then Baba told the mother that her son should not work for anyone and should start his own business. A few days after this, Baba's prophecy came true. Narayan Jani quit his job and started a boarding house, which later thrived. Once a friend of Narayan Rao's was stung by a scorpion, and the pain caused by it was severe and unbearable. Udi is very efficacious in such cases and should be applied to the area of pain. So Narayan Rao searched for it. This is the Udi, but found none. And then he stood before Baba's picture, invoked Baba's aid, chanted Baba's name, and taking a pinch of the ashes of the incense burning in front of Baba's picture and thinking it to be Baba's Udi, he applied it to the area that had been stung. As soon as he applied it, the pain vanished and both persons were moved and were grateful to Baba. The bubonic plague case. A devotee in Bandra came to know that his daughter, who was living in another place, was down with bubonic plague. He had no Udi with him, so he sent word to Nana Sahib Chandorkar to send the same. Nana Sahib got this message on a road near the Thana railway station. When he was travelling with his wife to Kalyan, he had no Udi with him at that time. He therefore took some earth from the road, meditated upon Sai Baba, invoked his aid, and applied it to the forehead of his wife. The devotee heard about this, and when he went to his daughter's house, he was very glad to learn that his daughter, who had been suffering for 3 days, had begun to improve from the very moment Nana Sahib invoked Baba's aid. The Janar miracle. About the year 1904, Nana Sahib Chandorkar was Malakdar at the Jamnar, which is more than 100 miles from Shirdi. His daughter, Manatai, was pregnant and was about to deliver. The case was very serious and she had been suffering from labor pains for about 2 or 3 days. Nana Sahib tried all sorts of remedies, but they proved in vain. He then remembered Baba and invoked his aid. In Shirdi, at about the same time, a man named Ramgir Bhuva, who Baba called Bapugir Bhuva, wanted at this time to visit his native place in Kandesh. Baba called him and told him to rest a while at Jamnar on his way home and give the Udi and Arti to Nana Sahib Ramgir Bhuva. Ramgir Bhuva said that he only had 2 rupees with him and that this amount was barely sufficient for the railway fare up to Jalgaon, and thus it was not possible for him to go from Jalgaon to Jamnar, a distance of about 30 miles. Baba reassured him that he need not worry, as everything would be provided for him. Then Baba asked Shama to write out the well-known arti composed by Madhav Adkar, a translation of which is given at the end of his work, and give a copy of it with Udi to Ramgir Bhuva. He then asked Ramgir Bhuva to deliver this to Nana Sahib. Relying on Baba's words, Ramgir Bhuva left Shirdi and reached Jalgaon at about 2:45 a.m. He had no money left with him and was in hard plight. To his great relief, he heard somebody calling out, "Who is Baba Geruva of Shirdi?" He went to the man and told him that he was Babu Girbua. Then the peon, claiming to be sent by Nana Sahib, took him out to an excellent tanga with a good pair of horses. The tanga drove fast, and early in the morning they came to a brooklet. The driver took the horses to the water them, and the peon asked Ram Giribhua to partake of some eatables. On seeing the beard, moustache, and the livery of the peon, Ram Giribhua suspected he was a Muslim and was thus unwilling to take any refreshments from him. But peon satisfied him by saying that he was a Hindu. The peon also said that Nana Sahib had sent these refreshments and that there should be no hesitation or doubt about accepting them. Then both of them ate and started on the journey again. They reached Ramnagar at dawn. Ram Giribhua alighted to attend the call of nature and returned within a few minutes, but found that there was no tanga, driver, or peon. He was dumbfounded, and then he went to the nearby village office and upon making inquiries learned that the Malaktar was at home. He went to Nana Sahib's house, introduced himself, and gave Nana Sahib Baba's Udi and Arti. At this time, the daughter Mayantaya's case was very serious, and everyone was very anxious about her. Nana Sahib called out to his wife and asked her to give the Udi mixed with water to their daughter and sing Baba's Arti. He thought that Baba's help was very timely. In a few minutes, she delivered safely and the crisis had passed. When Ram Giribhua thanked Nana Sahib for the peon, tanga, and the refreshments, Nana Sahib was rather surprised. He had not sent anyone to the station, as he did not know someone was coming from Shirdi. Mr. B.V. Dion of Thana, retired Malatar, had made inquiries about this matter with Bapu Rao Tandokar, Nana Sahib's son, and with Ram Giribhua, and then wrote an elaborate article, part prose and part in poetry, in the Sri Sai Leela magazine, volume 13, numbers 11, 12, and 13. B.V. Narsim Swami also took down the statements of Nanatai, Bapu Sahib Tandokar, and Ram Giribhua and published them in the Devotees' Experiences, Part 3. The following is quoted from Ram Giribhua's statement. One day, Baba called me and gave me a packet of Udi and a copy of Baba's Arti. I was planning on traveling to Kandesh at the time. Baba directed me to go to Jamna and told me to deliver the Arti and Udi to Nana Sahib Chandokar. I told him that all I had was 2 rupees and asked him how that would take me by train from Karpur Gaon to Jalgaon, and then by cart from Jalgaon to Jamnar. Baba said, God will give. That was Friday, and I started at once. I reached Man-Made at 7:30 p.m. and Jalgaon at 2:45 a.m. The plague regulations were being enforced, and I had quite a bit of trouble getting to Jalgaon. At about 3 a.m., a peon in boots and a turban, well equipped with other details of good dress, appeared and took me, I wonder who that is, to a tanga and drove me on. He claimed that he worked for Nana Sahib Chandokar, and I was rather surprised. On the way, I shared the refreshments he offered me. We reached Ramnagar nearly in the morning, and by that time I returned from attending the call of nature. The tanga and the peon and its driver had disappeared. Narayan Rao, a devotee named Narayan Rao, surname not given, had good fortune of meeting Baba twice. During the latter's lifetime, yet even with 3 years after Baba passed away, Narayan Rao, wanted to come to Shirdi but could not come due to an illness. Within a year of Baba's Mahasamadhi, he had fallen sick and suffered a lot. All ordinary remedies gave him no relief, and so he meditated on Baba day and night. One night, in his dreams, Baba came to him through a cellar, and comforted him, saying, "Don't be anxious. You will improve from tomorrow, and within a week you will be on your legs." Narayan Rao recovered fully within the time mentioned in the vision. Now the point of this story is, was Baba living because he had a body, or was he dead because he had left it? Baba is always alive, and he transcends both life and death. Even a person who gives Baba wholehearted affection once gets a response from him at any time, at any place. He is always by your side and will take any form and appear before the devout disciple and satisfy him. Abba Sahib Kulrani. In 1917, Abba Sahib Kulrani had a chance to meet Baba. He was transferred to Thana and began to worship Baba's picture, which Bala Sahib Bhate had given him. But he earnestly worshipped the picture, offered flowers and sandal paste and navidya, religious offering of food, and had an intense desire to meet Baba. In this connection, it can be said that bowing before Baba's picture earnestly is equivalent to seeing him in person. The following story illustrates this statement. Balabhuva Sutar, a saint from Bombay named Balabhuva Sutar, who on account of his piety, devotion and bhajans, devotional songs, was called modern Tukaram, came to Shirdi for the first time in 1917. When he bowed before Baba and latter said, "I have known this man for the past 4 years." Balabhuva wondered how this could be. He had never been to Shirdi before or met Baba, and thus he wondered why Baba said this. But upon thinking about it carefully, he recollected that he had prostrated himself 4 years ago before Baba's portrait in Mumbai. Thus he was convinced about the significance of Baba's words. He said to himself, how omnipresent and all-pervading are the saints, and how kind they are to their devotees. They certainly are. I merely bowed to his photo, and this was noticed by Baba, and in due course he made me realize that seeing his photo is equivalent of seeing him in person. Appa Sahib Kulrani's story continued. Now we return to Appa Sahib's story. While he was in Thana, he had to go on tour onto Bhivadani, and was not expected to return for a week. In his absence, the following wonderful thing took place on the 3rd day after his departure. At noon, a fakir turned up at Appa Sahib's house. His features resembled those of Baba, Mrs. Kulrani and the children asked him whether he was Sai Baba of Shirdi. He said he wasn't, but that he was an obedient servant of his, and he had come there at Baba's direction to inquire about the health of the family. Then he asked for dakshina, and Mrs. Kulrani gave him a rupee. The fakir then gave her a small packet of udi and asked her to keep this in their shrine next to Baba's photo. Then the fakir bade goodbye and left. Now listen to this wonderful leela of Sai. Appa Sahib could not proceed with his tour as his horse had fallen sick at Bhiwandi. He returned home that afternoon and learned from his wife about the fakir's visit. He thought it was unfortunate that he did not receive the darshan of this fakir and was not happy that only 1 rupee was paid as dakshina. He said that had he been present, he would have offered no less than 10 rupees. Then he immediately left to find the fakir on an empty stomach. His search was in vain. He then returned home and had his food. The reader may remember here Baba's dictum that the quest for God should not be made on an empty stomach. Appa Sahib learned a lesson about this, and then after his meals he went out for a walk with a friend. After walking some distance, they saw a man approaching them rapidly. Appa Sahib thought he must be the fakir that came to his house at noon, as he resembled Sai Baba. The fakir immediately put forth his hand and asked for dakshina. Appa Sahib gave him a rupee, yet he demanded money repeatedly, and so Appa Sahib gave him 2 more. And then the fakir was still not satisfied. He then borrowed 3 rupees from his friend and gave them to the fakir, and yet the fakir wanted more. Appa Sahib asked the fakir to accompany him home. Then they all returned home, and Appa Sahib gave him another 3 rupees. In all, 9. He looked unsatisfied and demanded more. Then Appa Sahib told him that he had a currency note of 10 rupees. The fakir asked for the same and took it, returned the 9 rupees and left. Appa Sahib said that he would pay 10 rupees, and that sum was taken from him and the 9 rupees consecrated by Baba's touch were returned to him. The figure 9 is significant. It denotes the 9 types of devotion. It may also be noted here that Baba gave him 9 rupees to Lakshmi Bai Shinde in his last moments. Appa Sahib examined the udi packet and found that it contained a few flower petals and akshata. Then, a few years later, he got a hair from Baba and when he received his darshan at Shirdi. He put the udi packet and the hair in a talisman and always wore it on his arm. Appa Sahib also discovered the power of udi in other ways. Though he was a very intelligent man, he made 40 rupees as pay initially, but after he secured Baba's photo and udi, he got many times 40 rupees per month and also got a lot of power and influence. And in addition to these temporal benefits, his spiritual progress was also rapid. So those who are fortunate enough to get Baba's udi should, after a bath, apply it to their forehead and drink some of it mixed with water as holy tirth, sacred water. Haribhov Karnik in 1917, Haribhov Karnik of Dhana district came to Shirdi on the Guru Purnima day in the month of Ashta and worshipped Baba with all due formality. He offered clothes and dakshina, and after taking Baba's leave through Shama, walking down the steps of the masjid, then he thought that he should offer one more rupee to Baba, was about to return. Shama signaled that he had received Baba's permission to leave. He should go and not return. He then left and on his way home went into the temple of Kalarama at Nasik to receive darshan. The Saint Narsingh Maharaj, who used to sit inside the big door of the temple, left his devotees and came to Haripur, caught his wrist and said, "Give me my 1 rupee." Karnik was surprised. He paid the rupees willingly and thought that Sai Baba had recovered the rupee which he intended to give through the Saint Narsingh Maharaj. This shows how saints work in unison. Bow to Sri Sai Baba. Peace be to all. Om Sai Ram. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.